Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the United States, and welcome to First Friday Lunch. As you can tell, this is being recorded. It's going to go live, or it's going to go up June 2nd at 11:30 Central Standard Time, and I'm actually recording it on Memorial Day because my puppies, Kraken and Kaiser, both have a vet appointment on June 2nd, and so we're not sure how long that's going to take. So rather than have you guys wait or maybe not make it at all, I wanted to make sure that we had some content up for the first Friday of the month. Anyway, what I was going to talk about today is kind of my summer plans and some stuff that I've got going on with a new release for me in an anthology. So first up, I'm going to be working on I gotta finish Wind Resistant, which is so stupid because it's like 5,000 words left until we're done at the end of the book. So I don't know what's stopping me from getting there other than time. And then I'm also looking to do rewrites on my Regency, and hopefully after that is done, I want to start working on the third book in my Archangel Revolution series. Curse in the Caravan is what it's going to be called. So I'd like to get started on that before the end of summer. If not, I'll probably start it on the Founders Retreat in September when I go to that. So the thing that's been consuming a lot of my time this last spring is Welcome to FM Falls, Tales from a Small Town. It's an anthology put out by the Moorhead Friends Writing Group. I'll put the links below. And it's a fictional town called FM Falls. And we put it together. It's our second anthology. The first anthology, Tales from the Frozen North, came out last year, 2022, like March timeframe. This one will have released by the time this goes live. It released on May 31st. So we've got a signing at Breakfast on the Farm in Holland, Minnesota on June 3rd, and then in July, I don't remember the dates, we're signing at the Moorhead Center Mall as well. So we've got, this group does a lot of like marketing. So one of the things that I was going to talk about is some of the stuff that we did for marketing. And I'm actually going to kind of go over this a little bit. It's similar to if you've ever followed Bethany. She just put this marketing list out maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, so I'll put a link to that video below, but she had her recommendations for some marketing stuff, so I thought I would just go through her list and let you know which ones we did for FM Falls. And the reason I'm telling you this is because Welcome to FM Falls actually hit the top 100 in pre-order, not like the day of release, but in pre-order it hit the top 100 of 2 Amazon lists. One was fiction anthologies and the other one was literary fiction and anthologies. So that's kind of exciting. So we obviously did some marketing there. So what did we do that help do it? So I'm going to go down her list, and the first one she had on there is newsletters. We do not have a newsletter as a group. We don't. The Moorhead Friends Writing Group has. I have a newsletter, and maybe a few others do that have told people about their stories in the book. So we didn't do a newsletter. We don't have a newsletter specifically, but it's possible other authors may have listed it in theirs newsletters. I know I listed it in mine, and then I also listed it. It'll go up on my blog page the day it goes live as well. So social media. Oh yeah, we are all over social media with this, and I think that maybe helped to drive the sales. So we didn't pay any advertising costs to Amazon or Facebook. We've literally been driving it there. I don't want to say organically is probably the best word to say, but we've been posting it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the main ones, and I'm sure people have posted it on other social media sites. And these are all being done as individuals to kind of drive up that anthology. So, chapter sneak peeks. I think I did some, possibly. We did readings, and those will be going out as well. So we've done some readings, but that was it's all after the fact of it hitting the list. Pre-order incentive, we didn't do that. That would be like if you drop the price of your pre-ordered to like 99 cents, and then like the day of it was like $4.99. So we didn't do any of that. A sale on a different book, nope, we've only got one other anthology out and we didn't run a sale on that. Giveaways, the only way we did giveaways is we had ordered our proof copies and gave them away to other authors to kind of proof them, or other people in the group that weren't in the anthology to proof them, but we didn't give any away to like readers straight up that I'm aware of. Advertising, we've done no advertising, done none. Influencers, Instagram and Book Talk, yes, because we have a few members that have very high followers, so I would say influencers may have picked it up if they liked it, but it's not the way you normally think of an influencer, but I think that there was some people driving readers to the Amazon page to go ahead and do the pre-orders. ARC, yeah, I guess sort of with the giveaway thing, we like gave it out to people to review, or hopefully they'll put reviews in Goodreads. We didn't do anything with Goodreads. And then the 11th one that she has on the book is to write the next book. And of course, we're already talking about the next anthology and how that's going to look and what we're going to do. So along with that, I thought I would kind of share some of this stuff about FM Falls. So FM Falls, this is like it's a brochure that I made that we're going to be using as bookmarks. And so it's just like, I got the idea because my daughter went to look at a house in Iowa Falls, Iowa. And so I got the idea from that. She came back with it, and I'm like, that'd be really kind of a cool thing to do for FM Falls. So we have like a list of things to do, like all the, things you can do around the town. I put in a little map, which like there's numbers over here, which you can see where that would be on the map. The city makeup, like who's in the city. It was kind of hard to figure out what things to put in here. Where to eat, because there's a bunch of references to restaurants. Houses of worship. I think there's only the Catholic Church is mentioned in one, and then I had to make a cemetery for another story because it didn't quite line up with the Catholic Church, so I thought, it's probably at the Lutheran Church. So that's on there. And then other points of interest, like some of the things are, maybe I'll just kind of read this to you. So the other points of interest, and then, places to stay and other things. So things to do in FM Falls, the Tattered Cover bookstore. If you're looking for a good book, the Tattered Cover stocks a wide selection, including local mystery writer Kathy Balsam. And Kathy Balsam is a character actually in my story, and it just worked out there was a bookstore in town because I have my character do a book signing at the store. So Main Street Antiques is an antique store, and it's kind of haunted. So there's like a normal side of town and there's a paranormal side of town. 7th Street. So Main Street Antiques is good for those who like antiquing. 7th Street, there's a story that takes place on 7th Street. 7th Street is lined with homes on the historic register. If you love architecture and want to see some Victorian turrets or Greek revival, take a drive down 7th Street. So Quarters Arcade, if you're looking for your childhood youth, stop into Quarters and play some vintage arcade games or try your luck at skee ball. So those are some things you can do in FM Falls. The places you can eat are La Piazza, Emma Jean's, Barfly, which is a bar right off of the municipal airport, Rusty Nail Bar and Grill, the Eatery, and Wallflower Dinery. The houses of worships are St. Barbara's Catholic Church. St. Barbara, I guess, is the patron saint of miners and maybe lumbers. Lumbers, axemen, basically. I'm not sure which one it is, but that was the reason we picked that as the name of the church. The Wooden Cross Lutheran Church, and then the First United Methodist Church, right? Because you always have a first something, right? A First Lutheran, a First United Methodist. Other points of interest are the Rusty Nail Bar and Grill is the oldest established saloon in the FM Falls area dating back to the 1860s, which is also the 1860, I think, is the founding of our town, too, is 1860. St. Barbara's Catholic Church is the first established church in the community. If you're interested in a tour, contact Father O'Malley. FM Falls is the perfect place to picnic or to take in the breathtaking view. And if you visit in September, the Nudie Street Colony, which is an artist retreat in FM Falls, hosts a writer retreat, and this year they're going to sponsor the Moorhead Friends Writing Group. So then we only have one hotel, which is the Wayside Motel, and then other useful places are Rexall Drug, Matson's Gas Station, Hardware Frank's, and then the Lawn Ranger Landscaping. So, because those are in some other people's stories, so I tried to include as many as I could in the brochure. So we'll probably get some feedback. Unfortunately, I already found like 3 misprints, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to redo these, which I kind of wish. This is what happens when you're making stuff and you don't bother to enlarge and you're working with like really tiny little things. So, doesn't work out so well. So that's a quick tour guide of FM Falls. And then the other thing I was going to go ahead and read you was the blurb for the anthology, basically, and it is this: Welcome to FM Falls. Enjoy an introduction to the Minnesota Arrowhead region before going on a journey to learn more about FM Falls. Like most small towns, the residents know one another by name, but they also have secrets to keep. Join us on an intimate tour as we follow these memorable characters into the most revealing parts of their lives. And that's the blurb that we have out on like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all those places. To give you a little bit about my story, I put together, if you're doing marketing, I think one of the easiest things to do is you can put together, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, put together a media kit, and I do it for all of my stories. I do it for my stories I have in anthologies, novellas, novels, stuff that's put out with the publisher, or stuff that I put out myself. That I go ahead and do a media kit for all of them. And basically, I don't know if you can see this, but it's kind of like, that's sort of what it looks like. You know, you kind of like put in the title, series that is part of a series, the author name, I put the genre in, you wouldn't have to, but I do, the release date, so this one's going to be 5/31/23. The publisher is Moorhead Friends Writing Group. I put in the cover artist and the editor, but you would not have to do that, especially if you did the cover art yourself. So here's the blurb for my story. So Kathy Balsam just wants to start over. Her husband ran off with a cocktail waitress, and her son left the nest long ago. After moderate success as a novelist, she decides to open an artist retreat, but a misprint leaves the town believing she's starting a nudist colony. And here's an excerpt. Kathy patiently waited for the city council to open the floor. Her flyers had been printed up by Joe Schmau, and he had passed them out beforehand. We will now open the floor to new business, Mayor Richard Talbot called out. Kathy stood, and with each step toward the center floor podium, she was one step closer to the next phase in her life. Cindy Swanstrom brushed past her. No, pushed. No, rather body-checked was more accurate and impressive for a woman of 4'10", and no more than 125 pounds. Cindy's quick strides ate up the distance to the center stage, and she was out of breath by the time she arrived. I want to discuss Kathy Balsam's nudist colony. She was waving a pink piece of paper, the color of Kathy's flyers. Kathy increased her steps, though truthfully she wanted to sink into the nearest vacant chair. As she forced her feet forward, she caught a glimpse of the flyer in Sheriff Craig Sorensen's hand. Come out of your shell at the nudist colony. Kathy should have double-checked Joe's work. He might be fast, but FM Falls had more than a few errors in the Gazette because of Joe's lack of caring. Now she would have to explain to the entire town that she wasn't running a nudist colony. Although, given the righteous indignities Cindy held at the moment, she was tempted to say there was nothing in the bylaws that said she couldn't let people run around naked on her property. And that's my blurb. So a lot of the characters in this town, like the mayor is in multiple stories, Cindy Swanstrom's in a couple stories, the sheriff is in multiple stories. So what we did is we created some townspeople that everybody could use and put in their stories. And then also we, some of, like my character is in another story. The bookstore, who's run by Jill Owens, that character is in multiple stories. I think she's in like 4 when I went through and was trying to like devise these maps. So it's very interesting. It was a lot of fun to play with, and I'm hoping we do a volume 2. So we'll see how sales do. But I'm hoping we do a volume 2, and it's a mix of genres because there's horror writers. There's I'm obviously a romance writer. There's a sweet story. There's some literary stuff. So it's a little bit of a mix for everyone. So and I think it would be fun for readers, even if you don't read the genre, because I read some of the horror stories, and I'm not a big horror person or thriller person, but it is kind of fun to see the family sort of, or not the family, the characters sort of in each story. So it's kind of nice to follow them all the way through. So it was a lot of fun to write, and if that seems like something of interest to you, I will go ahead and post the links for purchasing down below. But that's kind of everything that I've got going on. We'll be doing a lot of book signings with this particular anthology. I'm also I'm waiting on books for the Courtesan of Constantinople, and I think I'll be putting out Alchemist of Archangel pretty quickly here. So that will be available in print as well. It's only available in ebook at present, but I will go ahead and get those printed up and sent off, and so people can purchase a print copy if they would like one. One of the things with that is that we've been doing so many book sales that I kind of wanted to make sure that I've got stuff on hand, and I didn't normally, but yeah, I am doing the proof on Alchemist of Archangel right now, and just make sure that everything's good on the print side of things, and I'll send that off to the formatter that I use, Scott, and he does a really good job. He does a better job than I do formatting, so I'm like, oh, he can do my stuff. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be mostly what I'm going to be working on this summer is those sorts of things, trying to wrap projects up, because I don't see a lot of big dedication time to doing some stuff. So that is all I have for you guys, but I hope you will join me in July for the next First Friday lunch, which will be July 7th at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So go ahead and pencil me in for